Hey, it's Matt here with Mage. Today I'm talking about contributing. So if you're unfamiliar, Mage is built on open source, and that means that aside from our core contributors, we also have a bunch of folks who've helped us build some of the best features that exist today in Mage, whether that's improved DBT connections, a lot of your favorite data integration sources and destinations, or even made front-end improvements. And so this video is designed to help you get started, contributing as fast as possible. But first, I'd like to call out that contribution doesn't just have to come in the form of code, right? If you want to jump in our Slack and help people answer questions, or you want to just share Mage with your friends, your coworkers, people you think might find it interesting, those are all forms of contributing. If that sounds interesting to you, please reach out on Slack. Please find us, reach out to me. I'd be happy to help you write documentation, troubleshoot issues, just be a member of the community because that's all super valuable. But if you are code oriented and you want to write code for our front end, for our back end, for our data integration pipelines, our sources, our connections, any of that stuff, we also welcome that. And so that's what I'm going to talk about today. Configuring a development environment in Mage is actually pretty simple. I think it can be daunting, especially if you haven't contributed to open source a ton like myself, but it's a lot more straightforward than you might expect. So all you really need is a terminal and Docker. So if you navigate to a new folder and you run git clone our repo, so mageai/mageai, and then a folder you want to clone the repo into, you're going to pull down our code base from GitHub. And so this might take a little while. We have a pretty big repo. There's a lot of stuff in there. We're working on optimizing it, but it is still pretty large. But once the repo is cloned, we'll cd into the directory we just created. And all you really have to do is run /scripts/init.sh and then a repo name. So what this is going to do is going to build a container for development and then create a Mage project for development with the name default repo. This is our default. It's in gitignore by default. It works. If you don't like that name, you want to change it, you can do that, but it's going to exist inside the development repository. So be sure to add that folder to your gitignore file so that you don't commit it to on a pull request, because that can create some headaches. I've done it a bunch of times, so just a heads up, that can be kind of a gotcha. But when I run this, it's going to start pulling down the containers, building the containers. So expect this to take a little while. This might take 5 minutes. This might take 10 minutes. That's totally normal. We're not going to sit around for that time. I'm going to wait until this finishes and then jump back and catch back up with you. Hey, we're back. We have our image built. We have our development environment configured. So now we really just have to run the dev server. And that can be accomplished very simply by running /scripts/dev.sh this time, and then the name of your project. And so when we run this, it's going to create our server, create our app. The Mage app is going to run at host 6789 localhost, the same as our usual app, but that's not what we're using for this demo. The dev server, which we are using, is going to run at port 3000. So both of those ports need to be open to run this configuration, and we're only using what's available at port 3000. So that's up and running now. I can navigate to port 3000 here, and you'll see that we have a little usage statistics disclaimer. We're going to want to turn this off since we're developing and we don't want to report noisy usage statistics. But now we have Mage that you're all familiar and aware with, right? The key difference though is that if we change anything in the code, it's going to flow through to the app. So that used to say pipelines, now it's a complement. So you can imagine, right? Contributing, you can change front end stuff, you can change back end stuff, you can build new data integration pipelines. We have tutorials on how to add sources, add destinations, change front end behavior, change back end behavior. It's an open source project. You can do what you want, and it's actually pretty simple to set up. So reach out if this is complex, if you don't understand how to do this. We're going to have other tutorials on just how you can start writing that content, but for now, this is how you can get it set up. I'm Matt with Mage. This is Getting Started Contributing. Would love to hear your thoughts, hear your opinions. Until next time, peace.